fired up for some Badger football. That jump around has got me fired up. It's got me like seeing Christian on here tonight's got me fired up because I know we're talking Badgers tonight. Or you know what also gets me fired up? When the Friday frenzy is happening down at Foreman's Hardware. You cannot beat what the deals that they got going on down there. Foreman's Hardware, they offer you everything from home essentials to farm supplies. House to farm, grills to drills, Foreman's Hardware has got you covered. Visit today in Loyal, Colby, or Medford, Wisconsin. Tell them I sent you down there. Get 5% off. Go down there. Grab your grilling needs because maybe you're going to grill out tomorrow night. Badgers opening up. You're like, I got to grill. The Brewers on in the afternoon. The Badgers on at night. You're like, I am fired up. I am ready to rock. Get down to Foreman's, grab your pellets, grab your charcoal, grab whatever you need, grilling essentials. Maybe you need some snacks. They got snacks. Maybe you need to mow the lawn real fast. You can get your blade sharpened down there. You got all kinds of stuff you can do down at Foreman's. Check them out there, Loyal, Colby, or Medford, Wisconsin. So, Christian, how we doing? It's Wednesday, one day. We're one day away from the longest offseason in Badger football since, I don't remember, 20-plus years ago. The longest offseason we've seen in a long time. We're almost back. How we doing? It's got to be just like a sigh of relief that it's back, right?
Absolutely. We're good. I'm ready for some more Badger football.
Oh, man, it's been too long. It has been too long. Yeah, what was it? I mean, you're talking late last November. The last time we watched this Badger football team. And it's like not even most of the guys are gone now. So most of the guys that we remember are gone. So it's like we're just watching Luke Fickell and some randos come back and we're like excited about it. So that's where we got to be. That's a transfer. Finally, that craziness is done, right? We had the speculation and the transfer portal and who's going to start and who's going to be this guy and all that. It's all done. That's all gone. Now we just get to watch it play itself out on the football field tomorrow night against Miami of Ohio on a random. I hate Thursday night football games. I do. And now it's like the Badgers opening up the season on a Thursday night. It's How far have we fallen, Christian? How far have we fallen? But we don't want to. We don't want to talk about
Thursday nights.
We don't want to talk about how far we've fallen. We want to talk about what this schedule is going to look like this season because we want to get our final thoughts, projections, everything on the 2025 schedule. We're going to talk about that now. And then we're going to preview the opening game, the first game of the season against Miami of Ohio. So right off the bat here, let's talk this 2025 schedule. So I'm going to run through the list real fast, and then we'll talk about, key games, whatever we think is going to be in there. So week 1, Miami of Ohio, we know that's coming up tomorrow night. Next week, we have Middle Tennessee, and then Alabama, followed by Maryland, Michigan, Iowa, Ohio State, Oregon, Washington, Indiana, Illinois, Minnesota. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ranked teams as of right now on that schedule. 6 top 25 teams on that schedule as of right now here. So looking at that schedule, you're looking at the matchups. Who should they beat? Who are those teams that you're looking at that schedule right now and you're like, those games should be, should not be like, no doubts, but almost no doubts.
Well, I think you got to start with the first two at least, right? Grant, I don't think we'll talk about this, but I don't think Miami of Ohio is necessarily going to be a cakewalk. They're not your like typical FCS warm-up game that the SEC likes to play. But so I think Miami of Ohio, Middle Tennessee for sure. I have to have them. I think Maryland is the most winnable conference game. They have to win that one. Outside of that, I don't know, man. Like things that are should win. Like got to beat Minnesota to end the year. Like have to beat them. I want to say Washington, but I think they're going to be pretty good this year too. I think Iowa is a game you got to win too. That's a gettable game. Outside of that, I know Illinois is ranked 12th in the AP poll right now, which I think is a little high. I think they're really good. I hate that Bielema is doing really, really well with them, but I also love it because it adds a little bit to the rivalry that really hasn't been there for how long. But and then I hate Indiana just because I think they're frauds, but that's me. I think they're frauds. So I hate how much I hate that they got into a college football playoff before the Badgers. Whereas if they were 12 teams, how many years ago we would have been in multiple times. But anyways. So I think obviously the 2 to the 3 non-conference games, Maryland, Iowa, then I would say Washington and Minnesota.
Okay. Yeah, that's putting you right around your win total. I think they have marked at 5.5, so it's putting you right around that win total of that 5.5. So I would be in that same boat right now. I think we're going to get a lot of the questions where you're questioning yourself, do I think they can win this game or not? I think we're going to get those answers in that game against Miami of Ohio. Because this is why I say because it's going to be how they come out in that game. Do they look like they're prepared? Do they look like this Jeff Grimes offense is going to flourish? And Miami of Ohio, that's a solid, like you said, they're not a pushover FCS team by any means. They're a decent team. I think I can't remember their quarterback off the top of my head right now, but
DeQuan Finn.
Badgers were looking at him. The Badgers wanted him, and they settled on, was that Mordecai year or was that Van Dyke?
Yeah, I think DeQuan Finn priced the Badgers out pretty quick. I think he went for over $1 million, and I don't think the Badgers were quite ready to pay for that. I think Baylor eventually won that out, but he didn't even win the starting job with them last year. He only played.
And that's something he ended up not even starting at Baylor then. So just taking the money basically, but no playing time to go along with it. So
transfer portal's a crap.
It is. Man. It definitely is. And that's why I'm glad it's over with now. I'm glad that's over with, and we're just getting to some real football right now here. So you look at the games they should win, right? What are those games when you look at the schedule where you say to yourself, okay, this would be a momentum game changer, Luke Fickell, pristine moment. Where do you see that game on this schedule where you say to yourself, if they win this game, we look at Luke Fickell, we look at this program, the trajectory all of a sudden just flips, right? In the eyes of you, maybe other Badger fans out there, if they win that game, I know there's, if they beat Alabama, right? But let's talk realistic here. Mm-hmm. Where do you see that game on the schedule where you're like, okay, that could be the program defining the change the momentum of where the ship is heading game on the schedule right now?
I mean, yeah, kind of like you said, there's not going to be any shortage of games to pick from on the schedule. But I think if we want to talk realistic games, I think Michigan is kind of that game. I think the Badgers are coming off a bye. Yep, the Badgers are going to be coming off a bye for that game, so they got an extra week to prepare. We'll see. Is their coach for sure suspended for the Badger game, or are they still kind of deciding which
I think
game
they're
he's
still
going to get
deciding
suspended
that
for?
thing.
So maybe they'll be without Sherrone Moore, right? And I don't know if they're going to have that true freshman Underwood as their starting quarterback. I mean, I don't know. That might be a good – I know it's in the big house. I know the Badgers have to travel on the road, but, I mean, they're not beating Alabama. Like, Ohio State's – I mean, unless we go back to, 2010, right? Maybe we pull off a big upset there. I don't see us going to Eugene and beating Oregon. I wouldn't say that a win over Indiana or necessarily Illinois is going to be like a program defining, like, oh, we turned it around, like we're in the right direction kind of thing. So I think Michigan's probably that game I would pick. That, like, if they won, because what's Fickell? I think he's 0-6 all time against ranked teams with the Badgers, right? So I think, granted, I don't know if Michigan's as good as 14th where they're ranked right now, but I think going to the big house, beating Michigan, who I'm sure I think they have one. I can't remember what their schedule is. I think they have one tough game in there before they play us, but they're going to be ranked when we play them. If we can go there and get a win there, I think that would definitely change the attitude of a lot of Badger fans.
I like that one.
Oklahoma, second week. They're at Oklahoma.
Yeah, that makes There it is. There was one. Okay.
That's the one they chose not to suspend for.
I think it was like week 3 and 4 that I think Sherrone Moore he's got 2 games there. I know for sure. Week 3 and 4.
Oh, I thought it was against New Mexico, and then they skip one where he can coach against Oklahoma, but then they'll suspend him again for Central Michigan.
That must be what it is. So it must be that way. Yeah, that's the way that they'll shake it. Michigan, and how that operates.
Oh yeah.
The NCAA doesn't care about Michigan, just Wisconsin and Nisery Fort Queen and all that kind of stuff there. So what I was looking at this. Ohio State, okay, I know this is a pipe dream, so give me my pipe dream moment of the day here. They play Illinois, and then they play Wisconsin, and then they play Penn State. So give me my pipe dream moment. Just give me my pipe dream moment. But my trap middle of the sandwich game where if Illinois is any good and you have Penn State after that, you give me my pipe dream of Wisconsin sandwiched in between them in Camp Randall, most likely under the lights. I don't know. I've seen Ryan Day screw things up before. He did it at Michigan.
That's true.
Camp Randall, you got a healthy Badger squad coming into that one. Knock on wood, a healthy Badger squad. Doesn't turn the ball over. Hopefully, right? Doesn't turn the ball over. Run game gets going. The offensive line looks good. We've seen crazier things. We saw number 1 Ohio State go down in Camp Randall at one point in 2010 when the Badgers got hot with a bunch of no-name guys. J.J. Watt made a name for himself in that game. Crazy things have happened. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. But that's a sandwich game. That's a potential game where, I mean, following that, Penn State, that could be, because Penn State's ranked number 2 going into the season. You could be looking at a 1 and 2 matchup with Ohio State and Penn State at one point. Maybe, just maybe, it's a sandwich. It's that trap game that we always worry about with Wisconsin. This is the reverse trap game that might help them out. So, yeah, that was the one that I saw when I was kind of just diving into the schedules a little bit there and seeing it across. So, we see those. What would be, in your eyes, so let's look in your eyes here, what would be a successful season? A successful season in your eyes. Is it getting that win total of that, over under 5.5? Is it getting to that? Is it getting back to a bowl game? Because now I think they make it more accessible for bowl games now, like 6 wins basically can get you in.
Yep, 6 wins.
Are you saying get back to a bowl game? That's successful? Is it winning one of those big games against Iowa or Minnesota or Illinois? Winning one of those, those aren't going to be the program-defining games, but Luke Fickell's defining games, right? Because he hasn't won one of those kinds of games yet. So is it one of those? Like, what is a successful season in your eyes for this Wisconsin Badger?
I think it could be a couple things, right? I think getting, especially with this schedule considered, if they get back to a bowl game, I think that's a success. I know that's kind of like the cheap way out, and I know Badger fans still can be happy with the 6-6 record, but if you're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that are currently ranked, including 3 of them are in the top 8 to start. That's they easily have. I know people love to talk about how difficult the SEC schedule is, but outside of the SEC, the Badgers have the hardest schedule in all of college football. So
yep.
You got to temper your expectations. Yes, we all want the turnaround. We want them to look really good, and I think. But when you play a schedule this difficult, this isn't the Big Ten West, right? You can't just sleepwalk through and just rack up wins. They're going to have to work really hard for a lot of these wins, and it's not going to. They're not just going to get wins just by showing up like they have in the past. So I think with that, if you get 6 wins here and you're bowl eligible with that, with the 5th hardest the 5th hardest schedule in college football, whatever it is, I think that's a success. On the other hand, I think even if maybe they only win 5 games and they miss a bowl game, if you beat Iowa and Minnesota, I don't want to say it's a success, but I think that's going to make some Badger fans happy because right now that trophy case is empty. And I can't remember the last time it's ever been empty, but it's empty right now and there's nothing in there. So I think if they can get them both back, get the Axe back, get the Heartland Trophy back, I don't know. Or maybe if they just what if they do just pull a huge upset over Ohio State? And then maybe sprinkle in 3-4 other wins. You only have 5 wins, but you beat Ohio State or you beat Oregon. That's like a program turnaround, a defining win, even though maybe the rest of the season didn't go the way you wanted, but maybe you have some momentum going into the next season after pulling off a huge game like that.
Yeah. But I would agree. No, I would agree with that 100%. I think you got to get that I think Luke Fickell needs that defining win. I think he needs that signature win on his resume. That will calm down a lot of Badger fans. If he, like you said, I don't think it's as much that he lost the trophies. I think it's the way that he lost them. I think it was the butt kickings that were delivered when he lost those trophies that I think kind of put the number on him there. So I would say I would agree with you. Successful season, get back to a bowl game, and even if you don't, just getting those wins along the way, getting a Minnesota, getting an Iowa, winning those kinds of games, or getting that signature program win like we were talking about with Ohio State or somebody crazy like that would definitely be there. So before we hit a quick commercial break, final prediction of your record prediction. Give it to me. I'm going to write it down on the whiteboard. We'll see who's right at the end of the season here. What do you got for me? Final record prediction.
I'm going to go 6-6. That's kind of what I've been. 6-6. That's ever since I started looking at this, even with the optimist point of view here, I got us. I think 6-6. I got Miami, Middle Tennessee, Maryland is 3, Iowa's 4, Minnesota's 5, and then any of they'll get 1 against either Washington, Indiana, or Illinois.
Yes, 100%. Miami, Ohio, Middle Tennessee, Maryland, that's 3. Yes, they're going to beat Iowa. I got a feeling in that one. They'll beat Minnesota because they suck. So give me 5.
Yep, hate Minnesota.
I think I'm at 6 and God, I can't do that because I can't do that. Give me 7-5.
Ooh,
give me 7-5.
I hope I'm wrong.
They're gonna pull
I hope you're right.
Rando upset. They're gonna beat Kurt Singetti, knock Indiana right out. They're gonna beat Minnesota and Iowa. They're gonna knock Maryland.
Let's beat Illinois too.
They're going to beat Illinois along the way. Brett Bielema don't even know how to coach anymore.
Let's beat Bert.
He's done. So after the quick break, we're going to come back. Christian's going to stick around. We're going to come back here. We're going to talk Badgers and Miami of Ohio. We're going to preview that game for you guys here tonight. So we'll be right back here on Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trades on the backside of this quick ad break. Back into Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage, as we come back here on this Wednesday. And hey, this next segment here is brought to you by Casa M Spice, the low sodium, clean label, no fillers, no MSG. You cannot go wrong with this. You hear low sodium. Christian saw me. I said low sodium. He's like, what is this guy talking about? No salt? Are you crazy? You don't even know. You get down there to Foreman's. You get down to any Ace Hardware store. You go online. Search Casa M Spice. Grab yourself the 3-pack. Grab yourself anything from Casa M Spice. I use it on my ribs. You can use it on steak. I use it on everything. So I'm just going to name off everything. I use it on steaks, ribs, hamburgers, everything between eggs. You can use it on everything, just not ice cream. They tell me not ice cream. I wouldn't recommend it on ice cream, but maybe it's good. I don't know. You can try it. Vegetables, everything in between. Casa M Spice is the flavor you didn't even know that you needed in your life. Check them out there. Spice confidently. That's what they like to tell you. Check them out there across all social media platforms and also down at any Foreman's or Ace Hardware there. So, Christian, now that you're on for a double duty tonight, right? 2 segments here tonight here on the show. And that means you're a part of the Casa M Spice Hour, which we do the Casa M Spice Bold Player of the Week. So you're a big Brewer fan. Who do you got? Because, well, technically we could do Badgers, Packers, Brewers, but we don't have anything going on with Packers or Badgers right now. So who is your Casa M Spice Bold Player of the Week?
I think you got to go William Contreras, right? Wild Bill.
The Wild Bill. He's getting wild.
He's been on a tear.
He's been lighting it up. He's been lighting it up as of late here, Wild Bill has. And, he finally figured out how to hit with a broken finger, and then it's like all took off for him.
Took long enough, right?
It took long enough. It took him to let's go 3/4 of the way through the season. We had to basically talk about everybody in Brewerland was talking about you like getting surgery and going away. And now you're like, oh, I'll start hitting. That's fine, guys. So, yeah, William Contreras, I like that. And I also like I think we had him on here last week, but let's keep him on here, Bryce Terang. I mean, you can't get rid of this guy on here. 375 over the last 7 games. Over the last 15 games, he's hitting 333. Over the last 30 games, he's hitting 315. Wow. Just wow. Those numbers are just jaw-dropping. The home runs have been unreal. He's lighting it up at the plate at all facets, going the other way with it. This guy's been hot. Got to love what Bryce Terang has been doing as of late here. So those 2 guys, Contreras and Terang. And I know there's a lot of Brewers who we could probably throw on that list outside of Anthony Siegler. As we know, a lot of people want Anthony Siegler to go away. But anyways, those guys are going to be on our Casa M Spice Bold Players of the Week. So let's slide over into a little bit of Badger preview here, because we talked about in this last segment there, we were talking about the Badgers and our projections for the season and everything like that. If you guys missed it, make sure you check us out, podcast platform, Wisconsin Sports on the Go Trade. But let's get into this game, Miami of Ohio. So we got an 8 o'clock kick, right, for this one. It's going to be a late one here at Camp Randall on the Big Ten Network. Badgers favored right now. According to ESPN, they're giving them 83% chance to win. Kind of sucks that they're only getting an 83% chance to beat Miami of Ohio, seeing as most people don't even know that Miami of Ohio is a place. So, Christian, looking at this team, what do you see when you look at Miami of Ohio? I mean, just give me a rundown of this team. I know there's probably not a whole lot to go off of at this very moment, but just give me a rundown. What is this team like? What do we expect from Miami of Ohio?
I think they're going to be tough, man. Like we talked about a little bit last segment, but I think this is not going to be just an easy non-conference game. They're, I think, going off of last year, they're a very solid defensive team. They didn't lose a whole lot. And you can tell they didn't lose a lot because I sat and looked through their transfers. I wrote a preview for the Badger Backer. Nice little plug there. Wrote a preview for them. Go check it out. I looked at the transfer form, and they brought in 14 guys. And I think 1 guy was on defense. It was a defensive lineman, and I couldn't even find him anywhere on the 2-deep depth chart. So either he's just not even on the team anymore, or he's just not that good, or not as good as the guys that they already had. So I think they're pretty solid defensively. I guess we'll start with defense. They had a pair of safeties that I was looking at. What was it? Silas Walters and Eli Blakely. Walters had 95 tackles last year as a safety, and Blakely had 89. Well, these are combined tackles, right? Not solo tackles. They don't They didn't really produce a whole lot of like turnovers or interception stuff like that, but they're just stout defensively. I think they're actually a really good run defense. They had a couple guys. I think they gave up like the 15th fewest rushing yards per game last season in all of college football, not just like Group of Five or whatever. So I think the Badgers, like we're something I wrote in there in my preview. I think we're definitely going to see the offensive line and just the Jeff Grimes running game that everyone's talking about, how we're trying to make that a focal point of the Badgers offense again. We're going to see if it, how good they actually are. Because they got a couple of guys on the defensive line too. Keep an eye on, what's his name? Nazir Washington. He's a redshirt senior. He had 31 tackles last year, 2 tackles for loss, 3 pass deflections as a defensive lineman. But on PFF, if anyone follows that, he had an elite run defense grade of 86.1, which was like, what was it? I think it was top 10 in the country for like great. So, I mean, I don't think he had like that many necessarily reps, but the fact that he graded out that high, it tells you he's pretty good.
Yeah.
They have a pretty stout defensive line, so our offensive line, which we're getting our starting center back, Jake Renfro, is back, so that's good. So we're only going to be down to one preferred starter at left tackle with Kevin Haywood. But otherwise, so I think we're definitely going to be tested there. They got a couple good linebackers too, Corbin Hondrew and Oscar McWood, both of which actually Corbin Hondrew, whatever he is, he had 3 interceptions last year. He led the team as the linebacker. So I thought that was interesting too. But I think he might be kind of like one of those hybrid safety linebackers. So
yep.
And then offensively, just kind of looking at them, I think the biggest test the Badgers are going to have is their quarterback, is DeQuan Finn. We talked about it last segment a little bit. Went to Baylor. What was at Toledo before that? Had a big season in his junior year. We had 2,600 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, 9 picks. But he's a mobile quarterback, and they absolutely give the Badgers fits. I think we talked about this a little bit during the break, but last year when Drew Aller got hurt in the Penn State game, where I think it was still – the Badgers were up 10-7 at halftime of the Penn State game, right? Drew Aller goes out. Bo Prabula comes in, and all of a sudden they just fall apart. What did Bo Prabula had? He had 28. He had 6 carries for 28 yards, and I'm pretty sure all those carries were like backbreakers on third downs or something like that. And then the Iowa game, that guy had like 50-some yards rushing against us, and he was another backup quarterback. So I think last year they really struggled with dual threat quarterbacks, right? I think Tackett Curtis was hurt all year last year. We didn't really get to see him to his full potential. Everything I saw from him in fall camp is like just his speed. I think his sideline to sideline speed is really going to be shown on Thursday night, and hopefully he'll help hit between him and Christian Allegro. Hopefully contain the dual threat quarterback on Thursday night, but we'll see.
Yeah. No, you went way in depth there. I was just
sorry.
No. That's okay. I was mesmerized listening to that. I was just mesmerized. I'm like, I just learned everything.
I just dove right into it.
I got everything that I need to know about this Miami of Ohio team. I was like, holy crap! He went deep into that one. That was great stuff. there. So I don't really got anything to add on the backside of that. He covered it all. Looking over at the Badgers. So let's look over at the Badgers just because we got the 2 deep, and I don't want to go through the whole darn 2 deep there because everybody, if you want to see it there, you could find out there to search Wisconsin Badgers 2 deep, and you can find the depth chart here for their first game here. But just some of the surprises, I guess, for me. The wide receiver. This was the biggest one, I guess I would say. The wide receiver room. We saw Chris Brooks Jr. get in opposite of Vinny Anthony over top of a guy like Jaden Ballard. So that was interesting at wide receiver room. Also seeing that we saw Eugene Hilton in there as one of the backups. So that was pretty cool to see Eugene Hilton being talked about in that same light. So I guess, were you surprised to see Chris Brooks instead of Jaden Ballard in there?
I was, absolutely. Well, okay, I was initially, and then I thought about it a little bit. Jaden Ballard he made a lot of headlines during spring ball. He apparently had a pretty good looking connection with Billy Edwards Jr. They connected on a lot of deep balls, from what I've heard. All the practices I went to this fall, I really didn't even notice Ballard in any of their 11-on-11 or 7-on-7 stuff. But honestly, I didn't really notice Chris Brooks Jr. either. I noticed a lot of Vinny Anthony, and I noticed a lot of Eugene Hilton Jr. But Chris Brooks Jr., though, he's been one of those guys, like you've heard over the last few years, like has a ton of potential. He has a ton of flashes during practice and stuff, but then you just never see him in a game. So maybe just he did enough. They liked it. He's athletic. It's going to take a minute for me to remember that he's number one now, not 84 or whatever he was.
I've heard
he's number one now.
Changed it a couple times now. I've heard he changed around.
So if you see number one on offense, that's who that is, because I went to a practice and I'm like, who is this number one guy? Like, there's no number one on the roster. I couldn't figure out who it was. And they did the same thing on defense. I think it's Jameer Lattimore did it too. Jameer Lattimore did it too. He changed from 21 to 1. I was extremely confused, but so yeah,
that gets me every time is when guys on opposite sides of the ball have the same number, and I'm like,
the same numbers. Yep.
That always gets to me.
Yeah, that was the Chris Brooks Jr. being first in the depth chart was a little bit of was just a surprise to me too when I noticed. That was one of the first things I noticed.
Yeah, it was one of those where I've heard that he's a good blocker, so maybe that's why. They're like, get him into a Jeff Grimes system, need some blocking. I would definitely agree with that one there. Outside of that, everything else kind of shook out what you would think for the most part there. Defensively, outside linebacker, I see they got Daryl Peterson listed above Mason Rieger. If you look at like the depth chart, it's Daryl Peterson or Mason Rieger.
College coaches love putting or.
They love or, so I don't know if Mason Rieger is going to be out there on the first possession, or if it's going to, if he's going to be out there first snap, or if it's going to be Daryl Peterson. I would assume Mason Rieger. I guess real quick before I got to let you go, is there any other guy that you saw there? Is there anything you're looking at this week here for the Badgers where you're like, I want to see this guy, I want to see this guy? What are you looking at here in week 1?
Like I think I said earlier, I want to see Tackett Curtis. I want to see him at his full potential. I know last year he came in some high expectations. He was a huge, highly sought after recruit. Went to USC instead of Wisconsin. Came to Wisconsin, but just wasn't ever 100% healthy. So now apparently he is. He says he is. He looks like it in the few practices I've been to. He has a lot of speed for a middle linebacker. So that's a guy I'm really, really looking forward to watching on tomorrow night.
Okay. I like that one.
Up on me.
I like that one there. It's tomorrow night. Goodness gracious. It's already
Oh, my gosh.
I can't wait to watch Mason Rieger because I am hoping, I am praying that it is all not hype and it is all everything that I've heard. It is just a game record that the Badgers have been waiting for on that defensive line since, I don't know, Leo Chanel left, basically. I don't know. You could probably go back that. I mean, it's been a while. It has been definitely been a while since they had a game record in there in that linebacker. It's just something that was a staple for so many years that just wasn't there over the past couple, was that game record in that linebacker room. So, Christian, thank you. As always, let the people know where to find you out there.
You can find me at the Badger Backer. Feel free to subscribe there. Otherwise, on Twitter, Blue Sky, all the social media. So you can find me at Christian Borman on there.
You guys definitely got to check him out. He's got great articles. He just wrote an article about this game coming up here, previewing this one about Miami of Ohio taking on the Badgers. He's going to do one every week for you guys as long as whatever, permitting that he's got time to do it because he's got a busy schedule in school, everything like that, kids, everything in between. He's got a busy schedule. So make sure you guys are checking him out there, though. Badger Backer across all social media platforms, and then make sure you subscribe out there. So we're going to be back here after a quick commercial break. We got Badgers. We got Brewers to talk about yet tonight. We got Packers to talk about. We got all kinds of stuff. Make sure you come back. Wisconsin Sports on the Go Trade. We'll be back after this quick commercial break.